It's opening day for the Cleveland Indians here as they are taking on the Kansas City Royals for the first series of the year here in Progressive Field. The Kansas City Royals last year missed out on the playoffs. They finished 80-82, which was third in the division behind the Indians and the Tigers, who claimed the first wild card spot. But they're looking for a bounce back year. They had a few bad years from a lot of notable players, and the Indians are obviously looking to return to the postseason. But let's look at the Royals lineup. Rios, Kane, Hosmer, Kratz, Gordon, Perez, Infante, Moustakas, and Colon. And on the mound for them today would be Yordano Ventura. But they would be opposed by the Indians' ace, Corey Kluber, who had an excellent season last year and is a former Cy Young winner. And he is 6'4", 215, and age 29. So he's starting to enter his prime, or he's really entered his prime already, I guess you could say. And he got the opening day nod this year. Matt Latos will be the number 2 starter, and Dallas Keuchel will be the number 3 starter, followed by Salazar and Bauer as the number 5. Stepping into the batter's box for the first time this season is Alex Rios. He is going to take this first pitch from Corey Kluber, and he's going to swing at the first pitch on opening day, and he grounds out to Francisco Lindor. And so you never swing at the first pitch on opening day. Lorenzo Cain only at 239 last year. He's looking to have a bounce back career. He works an 0-1 or year, excuse me. He works an 0-1 count, and he grounds it to Lindor, but Lindor does not throw it, and Cain reaches base. So Hosmer's up. He works a 1-2 count, and he is going to strike out for the first time this season. So Corey Kluber already has a strikeout, and then the next batter would just ground out too short, and that would be thrown over to second. It would get Kane in time, and that will end the inning. So the Indians do give up a hit, but they go through relatively unscathed outside of that, as it is a no-run game so far, and we will be taking a look at the Indians lineup when we return. Taking a look at Terry Francona's lineup for the Cleveland Indians this afternoon. It will be Jason Kipnis leading off, followed by Ben Revere, Michael Brantley, Brandon Moss, Giovanni Urshela, Carlos Santana, Yan Gomes, David Murphy, and Francisco Lindor. We have our kind of light hitters against right-handers toward the bottom of the lineup. And Yordano Ventura is on the mound, only 24 years old, had a solid year last year, went 11-8 with a 3.52 ERA. So he's making a solid step forward, and he's only 24, so you can only imagine that he'll get better from this point on. Absolute flamethrower, a fantastic young right-hander in this league, and so Jason Kipnis is going to be the leadoff man today, as it is against righties. Against lefties, Ben Revere is the leadoff man, and against righties, Jason Kipnis is the leadoff man. He worked a 2-2 count, and the pitch comes in from Yordano Ventura. It's a fastball, and it is hit out into foul territory in left field, but Alex Gordon, the Gold Glover, goes over to field it. The next batter, a batter later, would be Michael Brantley. He is going to have an 0-0 count right here. The pitch, the pitch from Ventura. It hangs over the middle of the plate, and it's driven out to deep right field, but former Blue Jay and White Sox Alex Rios is over in right field to field it. And so no runs come from the first inning. We will see if anyone can produce some offense when we return. We'll pick things up in the bottom of the second inning here with 2 outs. Carlos Santana is coming up to bat for the first time this season against a right-hander. He's working a 2-2 count. The kick, the set, the pitch, it's a fastball, and Santana drives this one to deep left field and over the fences. A home run, the first run of the MLB season, and he is going to have himself a solo shot off a right-hander, no less. He's not known as a very strong hitter against right-handers despite being a switch hitter, but he drives that one, and that is the first hit of the year for him, and it's the first run of the season, and he will celebrate that one in style. He hit 24 of those last year. Let's see if he can replicate that production again this year, or even do better. It would be nice if he did better, but I'm not expecting it. Not your prototypical slugger, but he can still hit him out of the yard when he wants to. Yan Gomes will be the next batter. Worked up a 2-2 count, bottom of the second inning, and he is going to hit that one. It looked like it might have been out of the zone, but he drives it to right field through the first and second baseman, and so he is going to have a hit. David Murphy comes up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second, and he's going to look at that one. He strikes out, and so that will end the inning for Yordano Ventura, but the damage was already done as Carlos Santana took this one out to deep left field, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead. Pick things up here in the top of the 3rd inning, and that is Lorenzo Cain in the batter's box, and he's going to take that out into left, and that is his 2nd single of the game. So he's got a hot start to the season so far. It looks like Eric Hosmer comes to bat here with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd, and he is going to softly ground that one. Corey Kluber goes to pick it up, and he barehands it over to first base, and so that ends the Royals' minor threat. It is going to be the middle of the 3rd inning, and the Indians will see if they can get anything going at the bat. They only have 2 hits, but one of them did go out of the yard, so I guess that's a pretty good sign. We're actually going to pick things up in the top of the 4th here as designated hitter Eric Kratz comes up. He grounded out in his first at-bat today. Let's see if he can do a little bit better in this at-bat, maybe put a ball into play or something. If you're the Royals, you really need to get something going because you got a bunch of hits, but you haven't been able to score so far. Corey Kluber gives this offering. It's going to be a sinker, and it's thrown in for strike 1. Corey Kluber takes his time to throw this next pitch. It is going to be a fastball up in the top corner, and it's going to land in the middle of the zone. Strike 2. Takes his time. And now, waiting to throw his next pitch, it's going to be a cutter toward the top of the zone. And Kratz takes that one into deep left center field, and that is going to get over Ben Revere's head. He lost it in the sun, and that is going to be a double for the DH. Had a solid season last year, and he's getting off to a good start right here with a double so far in this game. And that is going to bring up Salvador Perez, and he is going to hit this one into right field, and so there are runners on the corners now for Kansas City. Yan Gomes drops that ball coming back in. Omar Infante steps up, 1 out, nothing count, and he's going to drive that one over the first baseman and second baseman's head into right field, and so Kratz scores, and it's a tie game. That ball goes a little bit past the third baseman, but Mike Moustakas would step in. He worked up to a 3-2 count, and he strikes out swinging. He cannot hold up his swing right there. And now Christian Colon with an 0-2 count. He's going to swing through that cutter toward the bottom of the zone. And Corey Kluber works his way out of a jam. He does give up a run, but no further damage beyond that. And after 5 hits, the Royals finally score a run. We're going to see if the Indians can do anything for themselves to help out on offense. You can see your commentators right there as Carlos Santana is going to be in the batter's box in the bottom of the 5th inning to lead things off. And the first pitch is in there, a changeup, strike 1. Yordano Ventura prepares. He gets set. He kicks and fires, and that's going to be a fastball driven into right field. A base hit for Carlos Santana, his 2nd of the afternoon after his solo home run in the 2nd inning. He's 2 for 2 so far today off of the Kansas City Royals right-hander. And Yan Gomes is going to step into the batter's box now. He has a single so far today. We'll see if he can do anything. He works up to a 3-2 count. And this one's going to be offered from Ventura. And it's going to be just inside for Seamer. And that is going to be a walk for Yan Gomes. So there are runners on 1st and 2nd, albeit not very fast base runners. But base runners nonetheless. The next couple batters both got out. Runners on the corners now. Jason Kipnis is going to line that one right to Omar Infante at 2nd, and so the Indians can't make anything of their threat. It remains a 1-1 game through 5 innings. A pitcher's duel so far, as Corey Kluber's been doing a very good job of straining the Royals runners on base. Alex Gordon steps into the batter's box in the top of the 6th. He has a single so far this afternoon. We'll see if he can do any further damage against Corey Kluber in this upcoming at-bat. He works it to a 0-2 count, and it looks like Kluber really has the advantage here. Picks a curveball, and that one's driven. Did not get the location that he needed it to get, and David Murphy's going to have to throw that one in. Not going to get the runner at first, obviously. Next batter would be Salvador Perez, who already has that single before that when Eric Kratz was on base. 2-2 count for him, and that is going to be driven into deep left center field, and Ben Revere has to go back to get it. And the runner is going to score as Ben Revere does not have the best throwing arm in the world. And the Royals take a 2-1 lead The next batter, Christian Colon, with a runner on second, and he is going to fly this one to deep center field, and that is going to be caught by Revere to end the inning. The Indians get out of the inning, but there had already been damage done by the Royals as they scored their second run of the game on that double right there by, I believe, Salvador Perez. So we'll see if there is going to be any threat from the Indians in this bottom half of the sixth inning, as Ben Revere, 0 for 2 so far today, steps into the batter's box. He's going to 0-0 count, and he's going to lash this one over the head of the shortstop and into left field. It's going to be a single, but Ben Revere would steal second once he did get on. 2 outs later, and Giovanni Urshela is at bat, and he is going to line that one up the middle. That's enough to score Revere, as he is quite the speedster, and it's a tie game here at Progressive Field in Cleveland as the Indians get their run back in this pitcher's duel of a game. They're starting to get some offense going here. Carlos Santana, 3-2 count, and that's going to be the second walk for Ventura of the game. So it's getting tight here. Yan Gomes up to bat, and he's just going to ground that one over to the third baseman. Throws on to second, and Santana's obviously not going to beat a throw like that. And so the Indians do get a run back, but they strained a couple on, and it is a tie game once again, despite the Royals having a hefty advantage in the hitting column, getting 9 off of Corey Kluber up to this point. Look at the 6-inning recap right here. Alex Gordon, 2 for 3. Carlos Santana, 2 for 2 with a walk, and Corey Kluber has gone through 6 innings, 1 earned run, 9 hits, and 4 strikeouts so far. So he's at a solid showing despite his high hit totals. He's been able to leave runners on. Tim Collins would enter the game here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and we would pinch hit for David Murphy, I believe. Maybe not. Yes, we do pinch hit for David Murphy, as Kevin Franzen is going to be coming off of the bench for the Cleveland Indians to hit off the left-hander. He had a solid average against left-handers last year, hitting over 300, and we're going to see if he can do that same this season as a left-handed specialist. We're going to bring him in against left-handers. Kevin Franzen, 1-2 count, no outs, bottom of the 7th inning, and he's going to drive that one to deep left field, and it is over the fence. A home run for Kevin Franzen. He didn't hit a whole lot of those last year. He only had 3, but he hits one this time on opening day, and he joins Carlos Santana in the opening day home run club for the Cleveland Indians 2016 team, and that is going to give the Cleveland Indians a 3-2 advantage. And with the way that their pitching has been today, you got to wonder, is that enough? Probably. But Kevin Franzen is going to celebrate right now. He's not worried about the rest of this game. He's just worried about the fact that he gave his team a lead right now. And then Ben Revere, end of the inning, he is going to strike out. So there's no further damage done by the Indians in the 7th. But, you know, enough damage came off of that solo shot by Kevin Franzen. End of the 7th inning, Indians 3, Royals 2. Cody Allen would come on to save the game in the top of the 9th inning, excuse me. After the Indians added an insurance run, the game is now 4-2, and we're looking for our closer to really shut things down right here on opening day. It would be a good sign if he did. Christian Colon, 0 for 3 so far to start out the day. He has a 1-2 count, not looking good for him, and he swings through that 4-seamer, strike 3. He swings through that. Lorenzo Cain, the Royals' last hope, 0-2 count. And he is going to ground this one line that one, but Jason Kipnis catches it, and the Indians win on opening day 4-2 over the Kansas City Royals. A solid showing by the Indians. The Royals played well enough to stay with them through 6, but just could not keep up in the end. They will fall to 0-1, and the Indians improve to 1-0 and will own at least part of the lead in their division after the rest of the games are played today. So they're starting out the season well. You know, they got a really cake lead in this AL Central. A lot of strong teams. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Next time, you'll see the Indians taking on the Brewers in some interleague play. Central Division versus Central Division. And we'll see how that game ends. So, once again, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time for some more Indians baseball.